Who is more evil, Galan Galactus or Uxas Darkseid? In the comic book universe, few characters have reached the cosmic stature of Marvel Comics' Galactus and DC Comics' Darkseid. Both are powerful beings, capable of shaping the fate of planets, civilizations, and even entire multiverses. However, which of them is eviler is not just about power or level of destruction, but also about their motivations, philosophies, and impact on the world around them. Galactus, also known as the Devourer of Worlds, is a cosmic entity created from the remnants of the universe before the Big Bang. He was once Galan, a scientist from the planet Ta, and after merging with the cosmic consciousness, he became an indispensable force of nature in the order of the Marvel Universe. Galactus exists to consume the energy from planets, an act that has led to the destruction of countless worlds, but he does not do this out of malice. Instead, he is part of the cosmic balance, like a predator in the wild. Darkseid, on the other hand, is the Lord of Apocalypse, a hellish planet where he rules with an iron fist and brutality. As a new god, Darkseid, real name Uxas, betrayed and murdered his brother to gain access to the Omega Force, a source of power that has made him one of the most feared entities in the DC universe. Unlike Galactus, Darkseid does not act out of a need to survive, but out of a desire for absolute power and the intention to erase the free will of all living beings through the anti-life equation. The goal of this video is to analyze the evilness of these two characters by examining their origins, motivations, actions, and philosophies. The main argument is that Darkseid easily surpasses Galactus in terms of evil, because his intentional cruelty and malice far outweigh Galactus's natural, neutral nature. Galactus began as Galan, a scientist from the planet Ta, one of the most advanced civilizations in the universe before the Big Bang. When his universe collapsed, Galan was chosen by the cosmic consciousness to become Galactus, a being with nearly limitless power. His role in the new universe is to maintain balance, consuming energy from planets to survive, and preventing the overdevelopment of civilizations that could disrupt the cosmic order. Unlike other villains, Galactus does not act out of hatred, greed, or a thirst for power. He is driven by an uncontrollable hunger, a biological need to sustain life. In the Marvel Universe, Galactus is seen as a force of nature, similar to natural disasters or death. He does not aim to cause suffering, and in many cases he chooses planets devoid of intelligent life to consume, although this is not always possible. Galactus's signature action is to consume planets, resulting in the deaths of billions of creatures. However, he often uses heralds, beings he has empowered, such as the Silver Surfer, to search for suitable planets. Galactus does not intentionally cause suffering, and in some cases, he has been persuaded to spare planets, such as Earth in Fantastic Four, number 48 to 50. This shows that he is not entirely an unchangeable or unnegotiable entity. Galactus does not have an evil philosophy. He does not seek to dominate or oppress, but simply acts according to his nature. In some stories, he is even portrayed as a necessary entity to prevent chaos in the universe, such as consuming planets to maintain energy balance. This makes Galactus difficult to consider as evil in the traditional sense, but rather a morally neutral force. Darkseid, or Uxas, is a new god born on the planet Apocalypse. After killing his brother to gain the Omega Force, Uxas became Darkseid, a being with near limitless power and the ambition to rule the multiverse. Apocalypse, the planet he rules, is a hellish world where all living things are enslaved and live in fear. Unlike Galactus, Darkseid acts out of a thirst for absolute power. His ultimate goal is to find the anti-life equation, a mathematical formula that will allow him to remove the free will of all living things, turning them into absolute slaves. Darkseid not only wants to rule, but also wants to destroy the concept of freedom, seeing it as a threat to the order he wants to impose. Darkseid has committed countless atrocities, from the massacre of civilizations to psychological torture to the enslavement of billions of living beings. He not only destroys planets, but also destroys cultures, histories, and the wills of peoples. In Final Crisis, Darkseid nearly succeeds in taking control of the entire multiverse, causing suffering and chaos on an unimaginable scale. Darkseid represents totalitarianism and absolute oppression. He believes that freedom is chaos, and that only complete domination can bring order. This philosophy makes him one of the most ruthless villains in comics, as he not only causes suffering, but does so with joy and clear intent. Galactus acts out of a need to survive, a motive that is natural and morally neutral. He does not intend to cause suffering or domination, but only does what is necessary to sustain life. Darkseid, on the other hand, acts out of a desire for power and an intention to eliminate free will. His motives are purely selfish and malevolent, making him more evil in intent. Both characters cause destruction on a large scale, but the way they do it is very different. Galactus destroys planets to consume energy, but he does not aim to cause suffering or torture. Darkseid, on the other hand, not only destroys, but intentionally causes suffering through torture, enslavement, and psychological manipulation. Darkseid's actions are much more personal and cruel than Galactus's. Galactus's impact on the universe is part of the natural order. His destruction, while terrible, is sometimes offset by his role in maintaining cosmic balance. Darkseid, on the other hand, does not bring any benefit to the multiverse. His actions are aimed solely at oppression and destruction, leaving no positive value behind. Galactus has shown on several occasions that he can be persuaded to change his ways, such as when the Silver Surfer begged him to spare Earth. This suggests that Galactus is not entirely without compassion. Darkseid, on the other hand, is almost impossible to change. He is steadfast in his goal of domination and has never shown remorse or willingness to compromise. Some might argue that Galactus is also evil, since his planetary destruction results in the deaths of billions of creatures. However, it is important to note that Galactus does not act out of malice, but out of a need to survive. He does not aim to cause suffering, and in some cases, he chooses planets that are devoid of intelligent life to consume. Additionally, Galactus's role in maintaining the balance of the universe can be seen as beneficial in the long run. Some might argue that Darkseid is Apocalypse, a place of nothing but cruelty and oppression. However, Uxas chose this path of his own choosing when he betrayed his brother and took over the Omega Force. He was not forced to, but actively pursued his goal of domination. While Galactus causes great damage, he does not act out of malice, whereas Darkseid intentionally causes suffering and oppression. The difference lies in intent. Galactus is a force of nature, while Darkseid is a dictator bent on destroying free will. Furthermore, Galactus is capable of change and listens to reason, while Darkseid is steadfast in his evil ways. Based on the origins, motivations, actions, and philosophies of both Galactus and Darkseid, it is clear that Darkseid is the more evil character. Galactus, despite causing destruction on a massive scale, acts out of a need to survive and has no personal malice. He is a force of nature, an integral part of the cosmic order. Darkseid, on the other hand, acts out of a thirst for power and an intention to eliminate free will, causing suffering on purpose and without any benefit to the universe. Darkseid's evil lies in his ruthlessness, cruelty, and belief that freedom is chaos. He not only destroys planets, but also destroys culture, history, and the will of living beings. While Galactus can be viewed as an inevitable calamity, Darkseid is a tyrant intent on oppressing the entire multiverse. Darkseid, with his tyrannical philosophy and brutal actions, is the embodiment of absolute evil,